Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, September 24th, and I thank you once again for joining in to our weekly webinars. This is the format that we've been doing for the last almost 3 years, and it's a place where you can come every week and ask your questions about PPACA and also learn of the latest updates. And there are a lot of them now that we're getting closer to November 1st, which is the opening of the 2016 enrollment period. So there are a couple ways, if you're new to the format, there are a couple ways that you can ask questions. You can either raise your hand with the little hand icon to the right of your screen on the control panel, or you can type in your question in the question box and we'll answer them at the end. So let's get right into the agenda. Finally, the 2016 FFM certification has been released. It was released last Tuesday. I did have a webinar, an instructional webinar Wednesday. I do have a recording of that, and I have the deck from that presentation. So if you're interested in getting that, just let me know, and I'm happy to email you that information. There are a few outlets in which to take your test, but all of them start at the portal.cms.gov site. And there are 4 options. There's one with NAHU, which has a cost of $102 for members or $117.78 for non-members. You can get up to 21 continuing ed credits. Gorman is offering their training for $29. There's an additional $5 for CE credits, but last time I checked, Pennsylvania was still pending. And then AHIP is also offering, and you can get CE credits as well, and the cost is $125 if you're just going to do the individual market. If you do both individual and shop, the cost is $150. And then, of course, the one that I took is the free course, and that is through, still starts at the portal.cms.gov site, but it goes back to the new revamped Medicare Marketplace Learning Network site. So I know that's a lot of information I just threw out at you, but if you have questions, you can certainly call me or anyone, any of your case managers, and they can help you out. So Aetna updates. We just received notification that there's a lot going on. As you know, a few years back, Aetna purchased Coventry, and some of these changes and upcoming changes have to deal with that transition. But the first thing that I want to talk to you about is in 2016, they're going to have 3 commission tiers. I don't know what the commissions are yet, but there's going to be Tier 1, which is if you sell 20 or more members. Tier 2 is 5 to 19 members, and Tier 3 is less than 5 members. And these are not applications, they're actually members. And how they're going to calculate that is they're going to start as of November 1st and get a snapshot of your current block, both with Aetna individual and Health America 1, Coventry 1 individuals. Take a snapshot of that book of business, and then as of 1/1/16, also add in any sales that you had during open enrollment up till January, and that's where they're going to evaluate your level. So if you sell 5 or more members, then you're safe. For those that sell less than 5 members, they will be terminating the appointments in January. So I think it's probably pretty easy to sell 5 members, but if not, then that's what's going to happen. Also, what they're doing is all of the hierarchies, if you currently work through a GA, such as URL, all of the hierarchies for Health America 1 and Aetna are going to be dissolved. And what they're going to require is, coming soon, they're going to require that you log into Producer World and choose your hierarchy. That's not available yet, but it will be coming soon. So what they're telling you to do right now is to go out to Producer World at Aetna.com, and if you're not registered currently, then we encourage you to go through that registration process. If you are registered, then just keep watching for where you can choose your hierarchy, and hopefully you'll choose URL as your GA. But at this point, the only thing you can do is make sure that your login credentials for Producer World are accurate, and then just wait till we give the word. Also, because of the transition and the name changes, product changes, etc., as of October 1 effective dates, so October, November, and December effective dates for off-exchange individual products, they will no longer be accepting applications for off-exchange. Everything is available on exchange, even if your clients don't want a subsidy or don't qualify for a subsidy. But unfortunately, if you have a client that has made application or wants to make application for October, November, December, they will not accept those applications for off-exchange. In fact, any applications currently received for a 10-1, they will be returning to the consumer and the agent. So if that affects you in any way, please reach out to your client, because we just found out, honestly, we just found out on Tuesday afternoon, and you know, not much time to make a change. You know, it's been on a dime. So that's the Aetna update. The Cap Blue Cross, you know, there's a lot of turmoil, as we know, in the individual market. Capital Blue Cross is really preparing themselves to be the carrier of choice in central Pennsylvania, and I'm going to be holding a webinar on October 15th at 10 a.m. The invitation should be in my newsletter. It will certainly go out separately as well. But Jody Klymans from Capital is going to be conducting that webinar, and since it's on October 15th, we hope that we timed it correctly, that we can find out a lot of details such as, you know, rates, product, you know, definitive product information. Nevertheless, it's going to be informative, and I think it's going to really certainly be beneficial going into the 11/1 opening of open enrollment. You know, again, I think they're going to be a product to beat. I can tell you, too, that this year they will have that redirect to healthcare.gov. So if you have clients that you are enrolling, you can enroll online by logging into your Capital Blue Cross site and either choosing on or off exchange. So it should be a fairly easy process. And you know, we're kind of looking forward to seeing what they have to offer this year. We're very excited. So the next bullet point, Highmark. I don't have a lot to share because, again, everything is up in the air. I did have some meetings last week, and they're still working some things out with the insurance department. So what I can tell you is, you know, Highmark Blue Shield versus the Highmark Resource Services, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen in 2016. I can tell you that, as you know, they have suffered tremendous losses in this individual block, and you know, I guess the rates once they're out will tell a story, but I do think that we will have some other options for you in 2016, and of course in Central PA, I do think it's going to you know, really fall on Capital. So that's good. It's bad. It's a lot of work, but that's the information I have at this point, and clearly as soon as I have more definitive information, I'll share that with you. Friday on my trip back, I did have a conference call with UPMC. They are planning webinars. I'm planning a webinar for you, my agent partners. I don't have a date yet until they're able to, release to schedule these things. But I do plan on having a webinar. I think they may be a carrier that for Western PA that you want to look at. They this year as well are having a redirect to healthcare.gov. So again, you can start from your portal, your UPMC portal, and do on or off exchange. And with any of these systems, such as the Highmark system that they had last year, and Capital and UPMC that will be available this year, your agent code is hard-coded, so there's less likelihood of losing those applications to the FFM. So that's all good news in my opinion. But watch for those dates as well for the webinars for UPMC. We're slowly but surely gathering information on where to submit your FFM certificates of completion. And I do have information for Capital, for Blue Cross of Northeastern PA, and Geisinger. Aetna, again, will be through Producer World, but that's not been released yet. Highmark, Central, Western, and Independence will be through Sales Sentinel. And again, I don't have that information yet, but I will share the information that I do have on the carriers, TAP, NEPA, and Geisinger, so that you can at least submit your certificates to those 3 carriers at this point. And going into the next to last bullet point, we're really excited about some of the changes that we're making to better help you and better serve you. One of those changes is that as of Monday, the 28th, Elise Fry will now be your group health specialist. She's transitioning over to the group health department or the group health duties. And, many of you have worked with her on the individual platform. Elise actually started on the group platform, so she's well versed in both group and individual. And, we're really excited for that transition. I think that you're really going to, be happy working with Elise, and also, the new things that we have coming down the pike. New staff, we have Katrina Weissman, who is going to be the agent support specialist for agents in the individual market with last names A through L. Of course, Judy Reed, many of you have worked with her for many years. She will continue to be the agent support specialist on the individual market for agents M through Z. So those are some of the new responsibilities and the staffing that we have, and we're really excited. We're growing, we're in our new building, and we have a lot of opportunities coming down the pike for all of us. So hopefully you'll take advantage of those opportunities and look to do more business with URL. Highmark staffing of the stores, they're still looking for folks to staff the stores. They're looking for 2 shifts, 9 to 1:30 and 1:30 to 6. They're going to be staffing Mechanicsburg, Allentown, Monday through Saturday, and they're going to be staffing Colonial Park, Lancaster, and Easton Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. They need assistance from November 2nd through December 15th. So if you're interested in working their direct stores, they will set appointments. The sales are yours. Just let me know, and we'll put you on the list. I don't have a lot of people interested right now, and there's plenty of spots open. So if you're interested, let me know. Just shoot me an email or give me a call. So that really brings us up to our open forum right now, where you can ask your questions. Just a reminder, next webinar is Thursday, October 1st. Can hardly believe it's October already. So please, if you can, join in. If you can't join in, just remember, if you register, you're going to automatically receive a recording. And even if you don't register, you can always grab the recordings from our homepage, URL insgroup.com, and to the bottom right-hand side of the screen, you'll see a YouTube icon, and you can listen to all of the webinars, not just from the Health Plan Options Division, but from all of our divisions. So let's get right into these questions. Looks like we have a few today as things start to get crazy. I'm sure there are a lot of questions. Let's see. And I'm sorry, a lot of these are just requests to email the webinar information. Steve asks also to email a chart showing the places, and I can do that as well. Lamar has a question. Do we know yet if carriers will provide something like the 1095B form for individual policy holders? That's really a good question, Lamar. They are required to do that for the year 2016, and at this point we don't have a lot of information from the carriers about what they will and won't do, but I have asked, and as soon as I have all of those details, I'll certainly share those with everyone. And Mike asks the question, Aetna, without knowing 2016 plans and rates, why would we want to sell with them? I intentionally chose not to get certified on the marketplace in 2015 and 16. Will that be the trend for the future for other carriers? You know what, Mike? Anything is possible. Everything's on the table and for change. And I can tell you what I've heard from Highmark is that even if you intend to sell off exchange, they want you to get certified so that you can recognize if a person is eligible and should be or would be better served by going to healthcare.gov. As far as Aetna, you know, I understand, Mike. I don't know what to tell you because we don't have the rates out yet. So we'll know them on November 1st. So November 1st is really when they start counting your lives. They'll count your current book, and then any sales that you have from November until January 1st will count towards the count, the count of lives. So we will know what that means in time, hopefully, to make a difference on whether you want to continue appointment with them or not. Dave says, must all employers send Medicare Part D notices to all employees before October 15th, 2015, or just those who are nearing age 65? You know what, Dave, I don't know that. I can check on that, and I think it actually is for all because there are notices that you give first day of employment and, of course, upon the exit. So I will find that out, Dave, and circle back around with you. Margie says, any updates on Highmark Flex plans for 16? Margie, I don't have a lot of information other than there will be a lot of changes and everything is on the table. So, you know, I know that at one point they mentioned to me that the Highmark Blue Shield programs, although not terminating, are going to sunset, and they're going to auto-map folks over to the HRS programs, which they tell me are supposed to be similar to the community plans or the Highmark plans. But, you know, again, nothing is set yet, so I really don't know. I really don't know. I have my thoughts on maybe what to expect, and I can tell you that with their loss that they have had on that individual block, that they may not have attractive products for 2016, and may is the operative word. So that's why I'm encouraging you to maybe join in on that webinar on October 15th for Capital to see if there is another solution, because again, we just won't know. We won't know until they either tell me and get their plans approved and rate increases, etc., or we won't know till 11/1. So that's what we're faced with. Elise wants to know if she can go to Aetna's Producer World website and apply for an on-marketplace application online when OE starts. I believe the answer to that is yes, Elise, but I will find out as well. Margie says, when will Highmark members receive letters about those plans? They're supposed to go out beginning of October, Margie, and you know, again, if they can't get through the PID, then the letters can't even go out. So that's what they told me a couple weeks ago, beginning of October, but that's all subject to change. And she says, if they map to another plan, will brokers be commissioned, or do you not have any idea? I think that if they're mapped to another plan, it's going to take more than just an auto map. It's going to take an application. And yes, I believe that commission will be paid. What that commission is a mystery. And Marianne says, is the commission tier only for individual Aetna and Coventry plans? It is, yes, Marianne. For the way Aetna and Health America 1, Coventry 1 are counting, it is specific to the individual market. It has no effect on your Medicare or your group contract. So that looks like all of the questions that we have for today. Once again, I thank you for joining in every week. As we get closer to November 1st, we're going to have a lot of information to share, at least I hope. I hope we don't have to wait till November 1st, but if any indication from the last 2 years, it's going to be very close to November 1st until we know anything. So just stick with us. You know, as I've said these past 3 years, we're going to sink or swim together. It is a volatile market, but it is a market that certainly brings in new clients for you, and hopefully they eventually turn 65. They may need final expense policies. Certainly, if you're talking about somebody that has an early retirement, there are annuity opportunities. So it does bring new clients into you, even though it's a volatile market. So I'm glad that you're sticking with it, and appreciate that you're sticking with URL and you know, choosing to do business with us. So we appreciate that, and I appreciate you tuning in. So I'll end it now and just wish you all a happy balance of the week, and certainly a wonderful weekend. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful weekend. So enjoy yourself and take care. Bye-bye.